got actually a special guest for you, my friend. And so I want you to get something to write on, get something to write with, and you might want to text somebody. It's going to be a very potent and powerful message. As a matter of fact, this young man, Brown, he's the owner of Destiny and Light Hair and Makeup, which is a Tampa-based hair and marketing makeup agency, and he has a salon and spa by Destiny and Light, and he's the president of the NAWP Tampa, Sarasota. He's a father, he's a husband, he's a man of God, and on his Facebook, I like where he said he's in training to master the basics. See, that's one of the keys. Of course, we talked about in our book, How to Build a Big Team Fast. You want to master the basics. And he's on a mission to create a crucified life. And so this young man, I tell you, he on Facebook, he's one of the people that went through our 21-day to your breakthrough challenge, which today is day 21. And actually today we start another group of folks going through, but this is the day 21. And we connected through Facebook. And again, folks, that's why social media can be a powerful thing. And so I just enjoyed, he's been getting these breakthrough messages. And one day on his Facebook, he came on and said, look, I got this thought that just hit me. And he just did a quick little Facebook Live, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's 3 minutes, 4 minutes, I'm not sure. And so as soon as he announced the title, I was like, wow, that's powerful. I'm going to teach on that. And I already knew where I was going. I said, but I'll listen to him, hear him out. And so after hearing him, I was like, you know what? Why don't I just let him give the message and just expand a little bit from what he did on Facebook. So get something to write on, something to write with. The next voice you're going to hear, my friend, is going to be from our special guest today. And Brown, come on out, man, and bless the people with this powerful, thought-provoking quote and life transformational thought. Welcome to Uplift Leadership Call.
Sorry, do I
Are you there,
press star two? Can you hear me?
No, you're
fine.
Am
I in?
You're in, Doc. You're in.
Can we hear me? All right.
Loud and clear,
Good morning, guys. How y'all doing today?
Blessed.
How's everybody
doing? Everybody's muted out.
Awesome.
We got one clear line so everybody can hear you, bro. So take it away.
All right. Beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful and honored that Dr. Stan actually reached out to me to give me the opportunity to speak to you guys. I wasn't even looking forward to this. It just came. And if you hear my GPS, I'm a man on the move, so I'm always moving, but I can multitask. So we'll go ahead and do this. So, ladies and gentlemen, the thought that came across my mind, and again, thank you again, Dr. Harris, for the platform today. The thought that came to my mind as I was sitting a couple of days ago, I was processing payroll. It was the casualties of operating casually. The casualties of operating casually. Many of you guys do some hard work right now, and you'll be able to relate to this because I haven't met a man that has created anything significant, whether that be a business that did that by operating casually. I've never heard of anyone that won a football game by playing the game casually. I've never ran into someone that won a race by running casually. So there's casualties in operating casually. So when we look at that and we apply this to to life and into business, it really does hit home, and it applies across the board. So again, if it's in the business arena, or if it's in your home arena, or even in the church space, it applies across the board. And the casualties of operating casually are this: how many people protect their families from their business? Right? Sometimes we want to hustle hard, but we don't realize that because we don't have boundaries set up, that our home life is affected. So that's a casualty of operating casually, because the casual way of you doing that is not thinking about the household and how your business behaviors or the time that you're not spending affects your home. And again, casually. And I apologize for being a little nervous. This is my first time, but I'm gonna try to get this out. But operating casually, also as it relates to business, it would be what you tolerate and what you don't deal with, right? So, for instance, have to let someone go. No one wants to ever let anyone go. But for the sake of the business, I didn't have a choice but to, right? Because if I didn't deal with the situation, because I love the person, I actually like the person. I actually own a family operated business, so it's very difficult to let certain people go because they're friends or they're family members. But at the same time, it's not about them and it's not about me as it relates to the business. It's we have to make difficult business decisions. So, regardless if you love the personality and the person, are they affecting your business? Are they allowing the business to move forward, or are they causing the business to regress? Are they damaging the brand? And that was a situation that came up with this individual. They were damaging the brand of the business. Again, they were a very, very good person, and we loved them to pieces. But we had to make the choice to let them go, because if we didn't, then we would basically be accommodating to our detriment, because we kept them on. So as we're talking about building teams and things like that, we have to realize that whatever we're doing in terms of building, it's serious. The business that you're building, whether that's a network marketing thing, whether that's a brick and mortar, whether that's a church, whatever the situation is, it's a serious thing, and it has to be respected as such. So there's no room to operate in a casual manner. Yeah, okay, I'll accept this. Yeah, I'll accept that. Yeah, I'll accept this. You can't afford to do that, because then the business suffers. And if the business suffers, then ultimately, if you're the owner operator, then you suffer because you no longer have any business. So, the casualties of operating casually. So one of the things that came up during this thing was, don't refuse to discipline yourself in areas that require your attention. Again, if you know that if you know that you have a place inside of your organization that you're not good at, you hire for your deficiencies, or you train yourself to be proficient in that area. But if you know it's affecting you and you're not doing anything about it, then at that point you're being very casual. Hey, my customer service is not that great. People will get over it. It's just me. They understand that it's my personality. No, it's not just you. And a lot of people won't just understand that's just your personality. And if that's the way that you choose to operate, then at that point you're allowing yourself not to be able to grow your business. Your business, if you're desiring to have a larger business, your business might be stagnant because you're not choosing to address that situation. You're not choosing to operate in excellence. And really, the key of it is it's all about excellence and operating in excellence. Because when you're operating in excellence, you're not operating casually. So the other thing that came out was, think of yourself more highly than you ought to, right? Sometimes, again, we can get to the place where our businesses are personality driven instead of systematic. And we have to realize that if you are looking to ever sell your business, people don't buy personalities unless you plan on working in that business after you sell it, right? People buy systems, all right? So if you are wanting to sell or develop your business, build it to sell and make sure it's systematic. So don't think of yourself more highly than you ought to, and just move yourself out of the way. So you're not hurting your own business, because it's a personality driven business instead of a systematic driven business. And then the other thing was change. It's that serious. If you know that there are areas that you need to make some improvements in, make those improvements. Don't ignore it. Don't think that it's just gonna blow over and I don't have to deal with that. because if you don't deal with it, it's going to deal with you. It might take some time to deal with you, but eventually, if you don't deal with that thing, whatever that thing might be, it will deal with you. Um, the other thing that came out of it was premature, immature, and amateur, right? A lot of times people do things prematurely, and when they do things prematurely, they get hurt. Whether that's starting a business without understanding what the business actually is, or joining a networking group or a network marketing group without really understanding what that networking, what that business actually is. So take the time to really understand whatever business venture you're about to go into, so you can actually perform well. You already set yourself. You already have a realistic expectation for yourself. A lot of times, people get into some businesses, network marketing things, and they don't realize that there's a cost associated with it. They don't realize that there's actually work associated with it, and then they kind of like, they blame the system or the product for not working, when in fact it's them that wasn't working the product, because they came in with an unrealistic expectation. Immature in terms of maturity. Again, in the areas where you know that you need to develop maturity or a better grasp or understanding on how to use a certain product, or how to work your business, or how to work a marketing, or how to work an angle, you have to take the time to mature and nurture yourself up. You have to grow yourself up in those areas, so that you can maximize your level of activity. You can maximize your opportunity. An amateur. What I love about this call is that there's a lot of coaches on this call. And regardless of what business you're in, I'm starting to see in I believe it was 2017, how important it is to actually have a coach. Right? Because there's people that have already gone before you that know what you don't know. And you don't want to die in that place where you're operating thinking that you know it all, but there's a lot of things that you really just don't know. So as an amateur, you won't reach out for help. An amateur would think that they know it all and they don't need anyone else to tell them. But a professional, right? A professional has a coach. So for instance, if we look at LeBron James, right? LeBron James has Luke Walton as his basketball coach. LeBron James also has a nutritionist. LeBron James also has trainers. LeBron James has a team of people that we don't see a lot of times, that are helping him to be the best player that he can possibly be. So as it relates to our businesses, the same thing is true. We need a team around us that's going to help us to become the best people that we can possibly be. We need to surround ourselves with people that have more experience than us. We need to surround ourselves with people that are on the same level, that are on our same level, and we probably need to surround ourselves with people that we can teach, that we can teach as well. So people that might be below you, that you can bring up and teach. So again, that was premature, immature, and amateur. And don't sleep. And the last one is don't sleep on the opportunities. Don't sleep on your opportunities, because you might not have time to take advantage of them. You might not get a second chance at the opportunities that come your way. Sometimes opportunities can be like dreams, right? Or sometimes you get that dream once and you're like, man, I wish I can go back to that place. Or better yet, words, right? If you have an idea that comes to your mind and you don't write that idea down super quickly, it might just leave, and you might not necessarily ever get back to that thought. So it's important to take advantage of opportunities when they present themselves. But again, as we're talking about the casualties of operating casually, it goes a lot further than that. For instance, we're in tax season, right? Okay, we're in tax season. If you're operating your business casually, and you're not necessarily paying attention that you need to pay the IRS, or you're not incorporating the tax inside of your cost of service, then you'll probably find yourself short at the end of the year, and then you'll probably find yourself in trouble with some people that you don't want to be in trouble with. As it relates to even bookkeeping and things like that. We don't want to necessarily, do our books casually, because again, if you're going and you're trying to get a loan for whatever, that could be an automobile, that can be a piece of furniture for your business, that could be a new building, whatever the situation. In those situations, so operating casually can cause you to stay back instead of moving forward. And Dr. Stan, I know I got about 4 minutes left, but that's all I got coming off my chest today.
Wow. Awesome, man. Awesome. Folks, I'm telling you, if you just take that one thought, that's part of our breakthrough training on this 21-day breakthrough challenge is, successful people, they say the right things to themselves. And so Eve misquoted, and she ended up having to break down. Jesus quoted correctly, and at his weakest moment, he broke through. So taking thoughts like this, operating casually will, lead you to being a casualty. Think about this. A coach is going to keep you from being casual. And so, Brown, this is a powerful message. Matter of fact, being casual with your money management is what causes. So a lot of people, they make enough money. The problem is they're casual about how they manage their money, and so they're always lacking. So there's all kind of casualties, and it's all through the scripture, by the way. Every failure in the Bible was somebody who was acting casually, and it ended up in a casualty. And my friend, who is it maybe on this call, you're being casual about some things. As a matter of fact, as Brown mentioned, when you give a thought, you ought to write it down. If he didn't write this thought down, if he hadn't done the Facebook Live, then I would have never seen it, and I would have never been touched to say, well, you know what, let me go. He's like, Doc, well, I never did it. Dude, it doesn't matter. That thought is powerful enough. Just bring it, right? And so here's what I'm telling you. So let me give you a couple things here as we get ready to close out, and I'm bringing up Pastor Kenny because I know he got something to say. But I'm going to tell you this, my friend. If you think about Ecclesiastes 10:19, whatsoever thy hand finds to do, do it with thy might. See, you can't be casual about stuff, bro. I mean, listen. He mentioned excellence. You got to give it everything you have. Listen, if you just obey that scripture, my friend, you won't end up being a casual. You know what the scripture says? Seest thou a man diligent in his business? Watch this now. He shall stand before kings. He shall not stand before mean men. What does that mean? If you're casual in your business, you're going to stand before mean men. Your business is going to be destroyed. But if you're diligent, if you work with excellence, if you give it everything you have, then one day you'll stand before kings. So again, you don't want to be casual, my friend. Matter of fact, the scripture says, a wise man foreseeth the evil, watch this now, and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. What does that mean? If you're simple enough to pass on, you're sure enough to get punished. That's operating casually. But the wise man says, wait a minute, I'm on a road that's going to lead to destruction. Wait a minute, I got to change. And so I wanted you to hear this message because I'm telling you, as soon as he said the phrase, I caught it. I was like, oh my goodness, I got it. And I started thinking of person after person. I thought of my own life situations where something happens, like I was operating casually and it's like, uh-oh, here's what happened. And so, Brown, thank you very much, man.